Hello everyone and welcome to Webweaver in the morning. Sorry, this is probably going to be uploaded in the afternoon. I am kinda digging this early morning recording style a little bit. Now, here's the thing. This is a Friday. I have to apologize. I have not been shouting out the members as much as I probably should, because that is like one of the important things. So we'll go do that real quick. Just loading the page right now. It takes like 80 million clicks to get to the membership tab. There's probably an easier way to do it, to be honest with you. But, I don't know. It's a little bit weird. So, anyways, thank you for the... I have to look at the total time as a member. The way that it sorts it is so dumb. But anyways, for the 9 months, thank you, Horg Japan. 9 months is crazy, by the way. Like, it's been 9 months? That doesn't even feel real. I'll be honest with you. Like, my sense of time is completely screwed up. But thank you for the 9 months, Horg Japan. I cannot believe it's almost been a year. That's wild. Thank you for the 8 months, Bunny-chan Faraby, Mathulu, Izander, and for the 3 cans for 8 months, thank you, Domina Violetta. For the 4 months, thank you, Badman LOL21, and for the 1 month, thank you, Chimera. Although, shouldn't that say 2 months? I think it should. I don't... Because I'm pretty... You know, listen, my sense of time is pretty bad. I think it should say 2 months, but the YouTube thing is really visually glitchy, because I remember it said Badman LOL was on 2 months for, like, 4 months, and then it just recently updated, like, last week or something. Is weird, or, like, last time I shouted out the members. My sense of time is completely messed up. Also, it is... The key analytics page is completely unhinged, because the members have not changed, and yet it says that there have been... I don't know. It's weird. It's weird. It's weird, because it says that there have been members gained. It says that there have been... It's weird. I don't get it. It says there have been members gained, members lost. It doesn't make any sense to me, because it hasn't actually changed. Like, theoretically speaking, if somebody cancels, it would say that. But, I don't know. It's confusing. Obviously, I've said from the very beginning, the membership is completely 100% optional. I really appreciate it, but, you know, you don't have to do it. It's completely... It's completely optional. Cancel at any time. No biggie, no worries. But today, you know, I appreciate it, but it's always optional, so don't worry about it. But then, no, the YouTube thing's really buggy. The YouTube thing's really buggy. And I always like saying that it's optional around, like, the start of the month, because it charges you on the 1st, right? I'm pretty sure it does. But, anyways... what are we gonna play today? Who are we gonna play today? That's the real question. I probably should have actually looked on the channel page to see who we've played recently. We've had an unhinged Miku game, an unhinged Haru game, an unhinged Kairi game. Played Juri recently, played Aiko recently. I don't know. It looks like maybe we're overdue for a Mizuki run. I feel like I have like a blind... You know what? When is the last time we played Toshiaki? When is the last time we played Toshiaki? I'm scrolling here, and it's been like a month since we played Toshiaki. Get homie in there. Moshi indeed. Thank you for showing up, Toshiaki. I think you gotta. We haven't played Toshiaki in so long. Like, I was scrolling through the list, and I'm like, I see the Ayaka, I see the Miku, I see the Mizuki. But I didn't see any Toshiaki gaming. Let's do Athutu. I'm kind of balling on the Athutu train right now. Ill-Fated is very interesting. I'm gonna take Crudy's kill. You might think I'm mad. But if we get like a boss early, like Akamanto, or we just get like a really hard boss early, I think it's fine. I'll put a point into strength so we don't instantly die. And I think we're relatively okay. Now listen, this is something that I didn't talk about, which I probably should have talked about already because it's like gamer discourse. But Risk of Rain 2, what have they done? Like, absolutely just... I mean, I don't even know what to say. So for those of you who don't know, Risk of Rain 2 is a roguelike. It's a third-person shooter roguelike, and it used to be well regarded as probably one of the best probably one of the best shooter roguelikes of all time, and just an absolutely phenomenal game. Risk of Rain 2, wonderful game. And it did, like, listen, you know, it has some problems, obviously, but it was just an immaculate game. It was a really fun game. It was a really great game. And I really enjoyed playing Risk of Rain 2. And then they came out with a DLC, Seekers of the Storm, which I believe was in collaboration with Gearbox. But, you know, if you've followed Gearbox for long enough, you'll immediately, like, that's the warning sign, the wow, wow, you know, that's the you're starting to freak out a little bit and you're starting to get uncomfortable. You see, like, you hear the word Gearbox and you like, you get a little clammy, you know, your blood goes cold, you turn around, you're shaking, you look at Gearbox, you see Randy Pitchford running straight for you to deck you in the face and shove you onto the ground and kick the shit out of you. Not great, not great. School scissors, violent individual, household hell, abnormal arms, bulletin. This is kind of a weird mystery spread, I'll be honest with you. I think we can do maybe bulletin, maybe household hell, one of the two. Let's do bulletin first. Let's do bulletin first as like a little treat. But basically, the Hopoo Games, is that the publisher? Or not the publisher, sorry, the developer of Risk of Rain. I'm pretty sure it's Hopoo, because it's like, you know, the Hopoo feather. But basically, they were working on Risk of Rain 2, and they got approached by Gearbox, and, you know, obviously I don't know the exact details because I wasn't there, and I don't know any of them who work on it or anything like that, but basically, Brandon in flashbacks? That kind of sucks. Let's just get rid of flashbacks. We're playing Toshiaki. Actually, we're playing Toshiaki, so Brandon doesn't matter. Give me the best prepare item in the game. Thank you so much. And let's go gambling. Let's get some books. I mean, this is a book in name, but not particularly a book that we're looking for. Now, if we do take that, you basically win the game, but we're trying to go for Toshiaki's other win condition. So something happened, and Hopoo started collaborating with Gearbox to make, like, updates for Risk of Rain 2. And I'm pretty sure Gearbox worked on Survivors of the Void. Yeah, they published it, and I'm pretty sure they had some developers work on, like, some Gearbox developers work on some of the stages. Now, the thing is, Survivors of the Void was immaculate. Survivors of the Void is very good. Risk of Rain 2, the original game, is really, really good. But if you look at Seekers of the Storm, you might see that its developer, Gearbox Software, and the reviews are mostly negative. Now, here's the problem with Seekers of the Storm, is basically the original Risk of Rain game did not work on consoles for whatever reason, and they had to redo the physics engine of the game. They had to redo quite a bit of the game. We're getting screwed a little bit here, by the way. We're getting a little bit screwed. But they basically had to, in certain ways, change the game's physics engine, change the game's code, etc., etc. And they had to do this to get the game working on consoles. And they pushed this update to the PC version of the game. I mean, maybe I should just cut my losses and take Book of Gore at this point. Never mind. We're more back than we've ever been in the world. It's in the item pool. We can do it. I mean, I still think that this is, like, Beautiful. All right, wonderful. All right, we're going to the hardware store. I'm buying whatever the hell that I see first, because it just works. We'll buy an HDF, and we'll feel pretty good about that. 44% Doom looks a little bit scary. We're playing Toshiaki, though. It's all right. So they updated this code onto the PC version of the game, and the thing is that this is not the DLC. This is an update for the base game, which is a very big problem, because their new code and what they did basically destroyed the entire game. There are so many bugs, and some characters are basically unplayable now. Acrid has a leaping attack where they, like, leap up into the air and then slam down, and it was one of the ways that you could use it is you could jump into an enemy to deal damage, right? It was very useful. Acrid does not collide with enemies anymore, so when you do that, you actually, like, slide off of the enemy and then fall to the ground. And also, Acrid's jumping and movement abilities used to cancel your fall damage. Now it doesn't. Apparently, that's something that somebody reported. Is that Acrid takes fall damage when using those abilities. I am not an Acrid player, so that's just like something that I've heard reported. But I am a loader player. I am an engineer main. I'm sorry. I will accept the cringe Risk of Rain 2 engineer main award, okay? But the thing is, I play Loader. Loader's my second favorite character. Loader's abilities are now tied to the frame rate of the game. And so what that means is... Do we just send it? Do we just full send it? No, definitely not. What that means is... Risk of Rain 2, one of the problems with Risk of Rain 2, okay, is that the game is very inconsistent in certain elements, where we could potentially go into Household Hell, but we could move the police station on later, because it's Household Hell, we don't start in there. Although we do have Violent Vigil, now that I think about it. But anyway, you know what? We have Violent Vigil. We could go into Violent Vigil right after this. Let's go throw the police station on there, just in case we want to do Vigil next, if we have the health for it. Essentially, though, and the very important thing, is that some characters' abilities are just tied to physics for no reason, right? And it's very frustrating because it makes, like, Loader way worse to play. Like, Loader feels worse to play, and her attacks, which used to be horizontal sweeps, are now vertical? For no reason? I don't really know why. It doesn't feel good. Like, Loader just feels worse to play. Captain feels worse to play, because Captain's, like, shotgun charge rifle thing is now tied to your frame rate. And the thing about Risk of Rain, and I interrupted myself earlier when I said this, and then I forgot that I was actually saying it. The thing about Risk of Rain 2 is that it is very inconsistent in its performance because of how the game scales. And so the game's frame rate can drop pretty drastically depending on what's happening on the screen, especially if you got, like, an overloading worm and it's, like, 2 hours into a run. Hell, that could, like, crash most computers, and if I forget to turn the game off of ultra-wide, it will crash my computer, or it will crash the game, and I've lost runs that way. The thing is, though, it's like, this game's frame rate is, like, pretty solid most of the time, but some of the time it's not, and also, I don't know if the frame rate's capped either, so it can go too high sometimes. And it just feels like garbage. Like, the game feels significantly worse to play, and they took away a lot of things. And this is just the update that they forced onto everyone for the vanilla Risk of Rain, by the way. This is not, in the slightest, anything to do with... let's do Violent Vigil. We got the health for it. This is not anything to do with the actual, like... How do I put it? Update, or the DLC itself, right? This is just the update that they pushed on everybody. They took away the, like, when you got hit in Risk of Rain, it used to give you, like, damage feedback, but it doesn't anymore. There's no feedback when you take damage. So unless you're looking at your health bar, you have no way to know if you take damage or not. Because, and you might think to yourself, well, what if you just get hit, right? The thing is, some enemies in Risk of Rain have heat scan. Hey, by the way, ill-fated and we succeeded a stat check. That's a little weird, isn't it? You can also succeed this one, by the way. But we did fail it because our perception is really low. Is that some enemies in Risk of Rain are hit scan, some of them have projectile weapons, and also, because of celestial enemies, sometimes enemies and their attacks can be invisible. So, if an enemy, like let's say a hit scan enemy is hiding in a celestial aura, right? You can get hit and literally not know it unless you explicitly check your health bar in the bottom left corner. But it actually gets worse, if you can believe it, which is even more embarrassing, is well, this is a bug with the new enemies, so I actually put it off for now. But it's just, the game is so much buggier, so much more unstable. And furthermore, you can't beat, well, this is like I think some people have said they've been able to beat the final boss Mithrix, who's the like vanilla game generic final boss, who's like the final boss of a normal run, right? You basically, I don't know why I did that. I'm ill-fated pilled, I think. I forgot about that. I should have just taken the -1 reason instead of the -2 reason. I'm lost in the sauce right now, I apologize. We get a little lost in the sauce because I'm malding about Risk of Rain 2. But the final boss is bugged, and can soft lock you. Because, you know, why not? I think it's something to do with the new items, but people have been saying in the like, with the DLC disabled, they've still been getting soft locked. So, like, the boss will be at, like, low health, and then all of a sudden the boss will full heal, and it's just like, why? Nobody knows. There is an item in the game that would heal the boss, the power elixir. I assume it would heal Mithrix, the final boss. But, you know, it's bad. It sucks. It's rancid. It really is. It doesn't feel good at all. And what's worse about it, what's actually worse about it, is, so the main game is broken. Like, you will soft lock yourself on the final boss without the DLC. Or if you're not even going for the DLC ending, I should say. Because I don't know if, like, you have the DLC disabled, if Mithrix is still invincible. But, you know, that's great. You release an update for your game, and then you can't beat the game in the main ending anymore. That's awesome. That's great. Everybody appreciates and loves that. Most of the characters feel worse to play because of the new physics engine. Well, actually, all the characters feel worse to play because of the new physics engine. The new physics engine is awful. Or the new physics code, I'm not entirely sure. I'm not a game developer, so my wording may not be correct, but my vibes are immaculate. You can trust that. Because I played Risk of Rain for, like, 230 hours, and then I pick up this DLC and it all feels wrong, right? And now here's the thing. So they ruined the game with the regular update, but let's talk about the actual DLC. Now, I am a big fan of Aurelianite. I think Aurelianite is one of my favorite alternate zones. The Gilded Coast is one of my favorite alternate zones in Risk of Rain 2. I always try to make Aurelianite work in my runs, even though he's bad. And so having a DLC that expands the Gilded Coast, it expands Aurelianite, and it makes Aurelianite like a story-relevant character. There's a challenge for taking Aurelianite to the new ending. And it's just like, there are new gold enemies, there's new gold theming. I really like that. I think that's really engaging. The problem, though, let me tell you, the update is unbalanced as hell. Yeah, you just probably take the injury, right? Honestly, completely fine, because we can go here and we can get the cut arm sinew taken care of. We can get a nice we can get a nice painkiller, eat the painkiller immediately, and then we get to decide what B slot item we want. I think it'll be the kendo helmet, and we just keep the flashlight in our inventory. Oh, I forgot about the bottle of water. Hold on. Let's drink the bottle of water. Let's glug it up, if you don't mind. Glug will power the motorcycle. Don't worry about it. We can get around. And we'll keep the flashlight in our inventory for a nice little blue option. And we'll just do nothing, lose a couple points of stamina, be okay with that. The seaside is dangerous, apparently. That's a little scary. And we are going to have to put it back on... I think we're going to put it back on the Household of the Hell, just because of the guaranteed effect, so we'll feel pretty good about that. But do we want to do the side quest? We're level 4, we're kind of ahead, but we're also Toshiaki, so it doesn't really matter. The health concern is the only thing that's bad. Okay. Okay. Alright, listen. You're looking at something like this, and you're thinking to yourself, this is gonna go badly. We can take 2-1 and then kill next turn? I'm, like, pretty sure. So let's see if this works out. It does. Okay, that's good. That's good. And so then what we can do is I think we throw the kendo helmet, which is a little bit janky, but that guarantees that we can do this with minimal fuss. And we've just killed a pretty nasty boss. And I did abuse the fact that we're gonna get a painkiller from Homeboy, so that's why I killed the Reason guy first. And we can also carry around the meat cleaver if it matters, but not sure if it does. Honestly, I don't really know why I'm doing this, because, like, obviously the low threat level doesn't really matter, because we're on ill-fated anyways, but I just feel like it's nice, and it's a good habit in the game to get into, but if you're trying to min-max ill-fated, I guess you could care more about the high threat level because of the penalty increase. So the thing about the Risk of Rain 2 DLC, alright? And I will die on this hill. First of all, none of the characters work properly. I haven't played the secret character you get for beating the game, but I have seen that Chef's primary weapon does not work in the way that it should. And the monk lady, her meditate skill does not revive allies. Well, it kind of maybe does inconsistently, and by that I mean somebody dies and they just get randomly revived for no reason. But when you use the actual revival skill, it doesn't do anything. You know, it's... You know? Kinda sucks. Kinda sucks. And the thing is about it that actually does really suck is... I think we can get a little crazy here. Hell yeah, look at that. We're still gonna miss and die, but... Oh, actually, we did not. Feeling pretty good about that. But, like... just random Hail Mary, top left corner. It'll be funny. Ooh. The sewing kit could have gone hard, honestly. So, like... Oh, I should have taken the book! I'm playing as Toshiaki. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. We're fine. You know what? Give me Doom. I don't care. That's completely fine. But, so the characters being, like, broken is one thing, right? But the disappointing thing is that the characters are not only broken... Wow, that was bottom right corner, wasn't it? That sucks. I was about to click that, but I was like, nah, Hail Mary. It'll be funny. The thing that sucks is that there's, like, no alternates, right? Like, I don't think the loader got any new alternate abilities. Engineer didn't get any alternate abilities, which is an engineer main. I'm sad about that. I would have liked I would have liked another alternate on engineer, because I remember they, like, Hopu talked about something about, like, more alternates for characters. But, like, there's no new alternates that I am aware of, but admittedly I only play 2 characters, so whatever, right? But my friend, you know, she plays Acrid and she plays Bandit and didn't notice any new alternates either. So it's just very disappointing. But the new characters, like the Monk Lady and I think literally the Seeker and Chef don't have any alternates except for like 1. Like Chef has an alternate for his like special ability and that's it. And it's like, wow, that's crazy. Thanks, guys. You really went above and beyond to give us like half a character. Like, that's great, right? But, like, the new characters, they don't function properly. So I can't, like, rank them or even want to, like, play them because they just don't work properly, right? I don't have any enthusiasm for playing them. Like, you can bug out Chef's, like, primary because from the advertising material, Chef's supposed to throw 3 cleavers, but in the game, Chef throws 1 cleaver, but has, like, 3 charges of it, and if you press the button too quickly, then you run out of all 3 charges. It's so weird. It doesn't... At least from what I've seen, it doesn't look like it works properly. Like, it looks bad. It doesn't... It looks wrong, right? And people are complaining about it. So it's like, it doesn't feel like Chef even, like, works properly. And then the Seeker doesn't work properly. I haven't played the Seeker character yet. I haven't seen the Seeker character in action, and people haven't been complaining about the Seeker character, so I don't know. I guess we could do School Scissors, right? No, let's do Abnormal Arms first, and then put the... Yeah, because we don't want to... Honestly, put it on the downtown, so that we don't get the penalty increase. And we'll put it on the school before we leave. We'll do a little locked out of the town mystery as the final gambit, just as a treat. We do have an instant kill perk. Alright, not an instant kill perk, an instant kill... Well, I guess it is a perk, actually, because it's a Necronomicon page, but, you know... Anyways, the items that they add... So here's the thing. One of the best parts about Risk of Rain 2 is the items. The items are so fun, and they make the game, right? The items make the game. The new items are awful, right? Like, the new items are either abysmal dog shit, like, just completely and utterly useless, in every possible way. Like, just the worst items you've ever seen in your life, right? Like, just we're gonna have to rest if we miss one of these, but we're not gonna miss. Hell yeah. Just, like, the worst items you've ever seen in your life. Like, abysmal dog shit items that just don't make sense for the concept of Risk of Rain. It's like, the game where you're gonna die because you lost your one-shot protection and then you got, like, hit scanned by a random enemy. That game is one where you get bonus damage when you're low health. Or your M2 buffs your primary, which is theoretically cool, but the item doesn't work because it's bugged, and so, like, your M2 charge will be used on little disciples for some reason, right? Like, it's so dumb. And here's the thing, some of the items are just not written properly. Whoops. It's fine. Low threat level school is not a big deal. Like, the items just aren't properly represented. Like, I was so confused on how the prayer beads worked. Because it's like, do prayer beads work when you remove them or when you remove other items? Because it just says item removal, right? Like, upon item removal. But, you know, you can do other kinds of item removal. And the worst, like, the legendaries. Oh my god, the legendaries. Like, what do I even... Like, alright. There are some... does the wiki have the new items yet? I don't think the wiki has the new items yet. But, like, there's a new legendary called War Bonds, which is just the most dog shit thing I've ever seen in a video game before. It gives you, like, 75 gold per stage, and it scales with the player level. And it's like 75, with 2 players, 75 gold is enough to buy, what is it, like 2 chests? Because it's like 34 gold per chest on stage 1. And it gives you 75. But here's the thing. I got War Bonds. It never gave me gold. It never worked. It never worked, period. I never got any gold from War Bonds. But then there's, like, you know, some items that are, like, completely disgusting, like Sonorous Whispers, which is, like, when you kill a boss enemy, not a boss, not an enemy, a boss enemy, which is a specific... Risk of Rain 2 is weird. It categorizes... There are 2 kinds of enemies, okay? There's bosses, and then there are enemies, okay? And boss enemies are enemies that can spawn as bosses and can only spawn in the stage after you get to stages that can, like, spawn any enemy, right? Because basically how it works is there are, like, certain enemies spawn in certain stages, but when you loop, it goes bizarro, and any enemy can show up on any stages, including bosses can show up as regular enemies. So, boss enemies who can appear as bosses, or can appear as regular enemies, but they are bosses, but they don't count as bosses, those enemies have a chance to drop an item when you kill them, which is the most disgustingly overpowered thing I've ever seen in this game, and it makes me feel like, okay, the items in Seekers of the Storm are either abysmal dog shit that are like a waste of space, and you're like, why the hell is this in the game? It makes no sense. Or, and it feels like these items, like, were made by people who have never played Risk of Rain 2 before, or have no understanding of what Risk of Rain 2 is, right? So that's, like, the first kind of person that you're gonna... That's the first kind of item. I don't know why I said person. That's the first kind of item that you're gonna run into. We have 3 diaries in our inventory. Thank God it's not a boss fight. We love that. So that's the first kind of item you're going to run into. The second kind of item you're going to run into is one that is either has a confusing text description, or a text description that does not represent what the item does in-game, or the item is buggy, and it doesn't work properly. So I'm grouping that all in one category, the confusing item category. Because either the item doesn't work, the description is wrong, or the description is confusing. And then we have the items that are disgustingly overpowered to the point where you're thinking to yourself, like, okay, Risk of Rain 2 is a game that lets the player get really, really strong, right? As like, that's one of the joys of Risk of Rain 2, is they let the runs get a little bit silly as a treat, right? That's one of the best parts about Risk of Rain 2. Is the runs can get comically silly because of the item combinations you can get. The third occult diary has hit the... Listen, we know it's a clap and a clap. I don't need to keep this on me. It's not like Violent Vigil, where if you put the thing away, you lose access to being able to do it. Like, we're just balling at this point. I should have seen the friend. He was there. But, like, something like that, right? I mean, we have 2 bonus attacks. We can even buff them each by, like, 1 boost. It's fine. Yeah, we're good. So the thing is, right? The game can get silly, and that's okay. Being silly, oh my god, a 5th book? We need a backpack for the first time ever? Oh, we can run from the... Oh, I clicked the wrong one. We're fine. We're okay. We're gonna be at 58 Doom. But we might have to do some healing here. But we do have Cure, so it's not that big of a deal. This doesn't matter. This is the last thing that we're doing in the game. Outside of the lighthouse, there's no ghost in the lighthouse. You want to make the lighthouse harder? I don't need to remember this. It's fine. Even if we die, it's okay. Because I can watch this. Like, first of all, we're not going to die here. We're going to passively heal, right? Secondly, what we can do we can go even further beyond, okay? Is we can... I mean, we're going to take Thoth Flash, I think. And then probably Sanity, right? Because we can just heal. It's no big deal. Hey, that rhymed. The Occult Diary Collection. And here's the thing. If we don't have the final boss here, we can just use all 3 of these immediately. And then just fully heal. I don't see a symbol of Slanesh. We've got... Second enemy, light source, dexterity, charisma, strength, and then second mystery. So we can just use all of these, like, right now. And look at that. That's looking a little bit more impressive on the Doom scale, isn't it? And we started this run with, like, 44% Doom. And we have more books in reserve. Can you believe that? Look at all the books we've got. Aren't we so cool? That's the power of Toshiaki, folks. Minus 50% Doom, or minus 50 Doom, I should say. It's not a percentage. Minus 50 Doom is, like, one of the most disgusting things in the game. So, here's the thing. We could just ball with the cure, but we are taking -6, -2? So we should heal a little bit, but, like, we could do this with the cure. But look, I can full heal, and we're at 65 doom, and that's without the cure. And, I mean, do I really care about this? I don't know, animated head? It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. We could get both these wrong. Go up to 78% doom, or, yeah, 78% doom. It wouldn't, we could get all this shit wrong. It literally doesn't matter. We're playing Toshiaki. But, so here's the thing. Sonorous Whispers is disgustingly broken, because, again, and the example that I'll use in case I confuse the hell out of you with the enemy analogy, right, is one of the bosses is called a Beetle Queen, okay? Beetle Queen. Normal boss, stage 1 boss, you'll see her all the time. When you loop, or maybe you just get to stage 5. I don't remember if stage 5 has, like, Omni enemies, but, like, by default. But, like, when you loop, you will then be able to get any enemy spawn, including the Beetle Queen. So, if a Beetle Queen spawns as a boss, and you kill her with Sonorous Whispers, she has a chance of dropping an item. If Beetle Queen spawns as an enemy, then you kill her with Sonorous Whispers, she has a chance of dropping an item, right? And that's what makes it so disgusting, is when you start looping, and tons of regular enemies are being replaced by spawns as in boss enemies. So instead of fighting, like, I don't know, like a bunch of greater wisps and, like, lesser wisps and, I don't know, imps or whatever, you load into a map, and it's, like, imp overlords, beetle queens, stone titans, and you just, like, kill them all. Each one has a chance to drop an item, and if you have a clover, then it re-rolls, because the clover re-rolls all RNG. So basically, you kill a Beetle Queen, you don't get an item, the clover kicks in, it re-rolls for you, you get an item, right? And then there's the Chance Doll, which upgrades the rarity of items that you get from a Shrine of Chance. Ridiculously broken. I got 2 of them, and I got 4 legendaries for free from 2 different Chance Shrines. I got, like, 2 legendaries in a row, and then, like, a few Chance Shrines later, I got 2 more legendaries. It's crazy. And so, getting, like, minimum free green items, and then, like, maximum getting free red items from a Chance Shrine is nuts. Then there's also the Sail Star, which gives you, when you open a chest, it gives you it re-rolls that chest's loot table. So if you open a common chest, you can get, like, you know, you get 2 items, probably both of them are going to be white items, but you could get, like, a green-white item, or a red-green item, or a red-white item, or whatever. If you open a large chest, you can either get 2 green items, 2 red items, or a combination of a green item and a red item. If you open a legendary chest, you can get 2 red items. But the thing is, I don't know if this is a bug or not, by the way, because I don't know how the item's supposed to work, because the game doesn't really tell you. But sometimes, when you open a chest, if you're stacking them, you get, like, 3 items. And sometimes you get 2 items, but then the item the Sail Star, or whatever it's called, stays, and then you can open another chest and get another 2 items, right? So it's like, how that works, I have no idea. But it's disgustingly broken. And the thing is, it feels really bad because it doesn't feel like the item was... Well, because the rest of the items are so poorly designed and balanced. Like, okay, the one item that I'm gonna give slack to is Knockback Fin. I think Knockback Fin is hilarious, and I'm an engineer main, so I think it's great, because it means that my turrets can get rid of imps. But, like, the other items just feel like they were designed by people who do not understand how Risk of Rain works at all. And so when you see these ridiculously overpowered legendary items, they don't feel good because it feels like they were a fluke, you know? It feels like they're good, not because... Like, they were intended to be good, but they are actually broken, right? The balancing is all over the place. The balancing feels terrible. No trivia tonight, by the way. And the final area in Seekers of the Storm is the worst area in the game. First of all, the Gearbox levels, like the Gearbox designed levels, are worse than the Hoppu designed levels. Like, just objectively, I'm sorry. Like, the Gearbox levels look pretty, but they just don't have that level design sauce that the Hoppu ones had. The Hoppu ones were sometimes simple, but or like have like simple layouts, but they were good. They were fun to navigate. They had a lot of interesting movement tech potential. They had a lot of fun secrets. The Gearbox ones are just so over-designed. There's so much going on. There's so much clutter. Everything's so busy, it's impossible to tell what's going on. The reason why the Hopu stages are so, it can seem so simplistic and open is because they know how the game plays. And so you don't want this, like, ridiculously complex, busy level with a bunch of complex level design where everything is, like, over-designed to the point where it's like, I have no idea what's going on, even on loop 1! Because it's just, like, it doesn't feel good. And the final stage is an insane movement check that the game has never seen before. There is no level in Risk of Rain 2 that is more of a movement check than the last level. It is insanely crazy. The lightning that tries to kill you tracks you so accurately. It strikes so goddamn fast. It's nuts, right? And then the final boss just sucks. I'm sorry. The final boss is awful. Like, here's the thing. All of the Risk of Rain bosses have to do something to your items, because if they don't do something to your items, then it's impossible for them to feel like boss fights. You know what I mean? They have to either be so over-tuned and crazy and batshit with so many phases, like the Void boss, or they have to do something to your items, like some of the other bosses. Because if they don't, you're gonna walk in there and you're gonna snap your fingers and you're gonna be like Thanos and they're gonna evaporate into dust, right? Because Risk of Rain is known for its god runs. What they do for this boss is awful. Like, I'm not gonna spoil it, but the mechanics of this boss fight suck. So anyways, that's been me. I'm mad at Seekers of the Storm. I'm mad at Gearbox. Stay safe out there. Have a good one. Bye.